Good evening and welcome to Scrapbooking with a Twist. We are going to make a fast embellishment this evening. At least I think it's going to be fast. We're going to make a little 2x2 shaker embellishment. It's going to look something like this. And we had our weekly mini swap this week was to do a 2x2. We called them twinchies. So I'm going to show you what I did. I cut these on my silhouette, and I cut 4. These are just plain white and not even good cardstock. It's real thin cardstock. I think it was even in a paper pack of some kind. These are some little snowflake shaker bits that I got at Scrapbook Convention. I bet that's really glaring on those. And then this is the same size. This is exactly like these, except it's out of the white iridescent glitter paper. And I doubt that you can see that that's glitter paper on these. I don't know. I don't even know where I am in the thing because I can't see it. But anyway, that's glitter paper. And then I cut 1 snowflake from the blue glitter paper. And then this, I don't know if you can see it, but that's my little clear acetate. So we are going to, I'm not going to use foam. In the mini swaps, we try to keep them really flat. So I'm just going to use some layers of paper, keeping it a little bit flatter. So I'm going to show you, you don't have to have foam to do a shaker. I'm going to run some, probably going to have to open that up. I'm just going to do these, I think I'm going to do 4 layers. I actually did 3 on the ones that I put in the swap, but I'm going to do 4 on this one. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and quickly do the twist this evening. The twist this evening comes from Luke chapter 12, verses 25 and 26. And it says, if I can get this open, this usually doesn't clog, but I've had it laying out with the lid not on it, which is totally my fault. Luke chapter 12, verse 25 and 26. And it says, can all your worries add a single moment to your life? And if worry cannot accomplish a little thing like that, what is the use of worrying over bigger things? Jesus had just been teaching the crowds. I think actually my last little devotional was about the part just right before this. He had been teaching the crowds, but then he turned to his disciples and kind of gave them this little bit more in-depth lesson, sort of on the same subject. And that was on wealth and our pursuit of wealth, our attitude maybe toward wealth, and that shouldn't be our main focus. And so he turns and he kind of gives them this little bit more in-depth lesson. And he had just given them the example of like the ravens. They don't plant, they don't harvest, and yet God takes care of them. They have plenty to eat. And so he's pretty much just saying to them, you know, you just need to have faith in God and he will provide for you. Now, if you go down to, I believe, let me look, I wrote it down, to verse 31 and I think 32. Verse 31 says, seek the kingdom of God above all else, and he will give you everything you need. So the key to him giving us the things that we need is that we seek his kingdom first. So above all else, if our relationship with him and pleasing him in our lives, if that's our main focus in life, the other things will fall in place. And worrying about it isn't going to help. You know, we can worry and worry and worry and worry and literally ruin our health worrying, and it won't change a thing. It doesn't change one single solitary thing. If worry helped, then we should do it, but it doesn't. And so he's saying just only thing you really need to be worrying about is your relationship with God. And if that's good, then just let him do the worrying for you. Okay, I've got those 4 layers put together, and now I am going to add them to my little 2x2 glitter paper. Just get those all straightened up. I'm using, of course, my liquid adhesive because you do need to be able to move them around a little bit. So there is kind of the foundation for our shaker. Get that pressed down just a tiny bit. And then I'm going to use these cute little shaker bits there's like 3 different colors. There's white, light blue, and dark blue. We're not going to put very many of them in there. We don't need very many in this little shaker. I think sometimes you can get too many shaker bits in your shakers and then they're not actually as cute. So let's flatten those out so that they're all just laying individually. There we go. And then here is our little tiny piece of acetate, and I'm going to just run a little bead of glue right around the edge. And I cut that just a tiny bit smaller than 2 by 2 so that it wouldn't be all the way out to the edge. And we're just going to lay that on there. Let that sit there just a second. Now I just did a 2-inch square on my Cricut, and then I made another square that was 1.5 inches, I believe, and pulled it over inside that one, and then I grouped them together so that they would stay together like that. And then I made multiples of them. I copied them and made multiples so I could cut out multiples. And that's how I got my little square that's cut out. You could use die cuts and use just 2 different size die cuts and put one inside the other, but this was just the fastest and the easiest for me today. So I'm going to put that right on top over the acetate layer. Scoot that around just a tiny bit. So there's our shaker. And then I wanted to add just a little tiny bit more. And so I'm going to put this one snowflake, this blue. It's about the color of the light blue in those little shaker bits. I'm going to put that one little snowflake here on the corner just to dress it up a tiny little bit. And then I'm going to take one of my little shaker bits. I'm going to use a white one just so it'll show a little. Put my glue down. Here's my thingy. And then put my little snowflake right in the middle there. And there we have our little shaker card. You could use round, you could use ovals, rectangles, any shape you wanted. Like I said, I did these on the silhouette. You could do them with die cuts and just, if you have nesting die cuts, and then use a bigger one and then one just smaller so that you get, you know, your outline. But either way you go about it, you can make a cute little shaker box fast and easy that would look good on any layout. And I thought about a round one would be really cute, and maybe cut out some little tiny fish if you didn't have the shaker bits. Make it look like a little aquarium, or you could do, I have a jar, you could do some little cookies, be cute. But we had this challenge for this little 2 by 2 squares, and I thought, it'd be kind of cute to do just, and this is not a thick shaker, so I think it's okay for that, I've got the hiccups, for that swap, because we can't do thick things in our mini swaps. So I need to put these little things on these other 2, and then I will have all 4 of these finished. All right, I hope you enjoyed this quick little shaker, and if you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up, And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. I also have a Bible study channel on YouTube. It's Weston Bible Study. I would love to have you join me there. So have a blessed evening, and we will see you soon.